All right, so today what I want to share with you is step-by-step how I plan on starting a side hustle wholesaling real estate business and getting it from zero to $50,000 a month in net profit while I'm working a full-time job. I know there's a lot of people out there that want to get into real estate, specifically wholesaling or real estate investing in general. I know because I've talked with them. I've been in the space for the last 5 years, helping wholesalers, helping real estate investors actually find deals. I'm a marketer by trade, and that's what my day job is. I'm a director of marketing for a real estate education company, and I'm really great at marketing, and I've always wanted to get into real estate investing. I've done a couple of deals here and there. I've actually shared some of those stories on my newsletter, and I have not really gotten any consistency with my wholesaling business. And now that I'm working full-time, I want to show you that it's possible to start a side hustle business that does $50,000 a month in profit while working a full-time job. Now, the way that we're going to do that is going to be a lot different than how most people are teaching it. And that's why I wanted to do this challenge. I wanted to see how I could quickly go from zero to $50,000 a month in profit in a side hustle wholesaling business while I was working a full-time job. I wanted to detail out every single step, every move that I make, so that way you can follow along with the challenge. Also, it serves two purposes. It allows me to stay focused and committed on my goal, because what often happens is I get shiny object syndrome like a lot of people out there, and I will go down a different path. I'll try to start an e-com company. I'll go back to doing agency work. I'll take on some other stuff on the side, or spend too much time doing hobbies and free things like golf and basketball, and I don't stay committed to the thing that I want the most, which is to create a real estate portfolio that provides for me and my family for the long term, in addition to what I get to do for work. Now, I love what I do for work. I love marketing. I love everything about it. I love the company that I'm working for, but I also want to be developing my wealth on the side. And I don't necessarily need to do this business full time because I love what I do. I make great money, but I also want to start a business that can provide for my family for the long term. This is a wealth play. This is a long-term game for me. And wholesaling is how I'm going to generate the capital that I need to go out and buy those long-term assets. Wholesaling is a great way to stack cash quickly, and as you know right now, having a family, it's really hard to get ahead. You can save a few hundred to a few $1,000s a month, but really to hit my goals in the term that I want, I need to be generating an extra $20,000 to $50,000 a month so I can buy a few houses per year using that capital. And the best way to do that is to start a business. Now, I could go to my job and ask for a raise, but I'd probably only get $10,000 or $20,000. And again, that's over the course of a year. That's nothing to sneeze at. But really, if I want to build some long-term wealth, I need to build a business, and I need to build a leveraged business that allows me to continue to do what I do at work at a high level, but also run a business on the side that allows me to generate the wealth that I want in the short and long term. Now, what I'm going to do today is just detail out the steps that I need to take to get going. I'm actually going to start the process of how I would do this. Now, for all of you that are wondering, how did I get this knowledge? How did I get this education? Like I said, I've been doing this for the past 5 years. So I know specifically the steps to take. The problem is staying committed to those. And that's why I want to do this challenge over the next 6 months. So I can keep myself committed, but also show you what it takes to build a $0 to $50,000 a month profit wholesaling business on the side while you're working a full-time job. Or if you're doing this full-time and you want to follow along, you can follow these same exact steps. Now, I've worked with a ton of fabulous mentors in the space, specifically in real estate investing. And the process that I'm going to follow is by one of my friends called Ryan Fletcher. He runs a program called Story Athlete that has a very different take on how to get into real estate investing and specifically do it in a leveraged way that doesn't take a ton of time. Now, I could get on the phones and start cold calling. I could start driving for dollars, but I still work a job full time. I cannot sit here, create content, do what I do at my job at a high level and run a business. I simply just don't have enough time. Plus, I have 5 kids. So the reality is time is the most important thing for me. So I have to focus on goal number 1 is building a leveraged business. So before anything else, obviously I know my target is, I want to hit, and target is $50K a month in profit. So all I need to do is start detailing out what the things are that I need to do in order to get there. So first thing is it's got to be a leveraged business where I'm going to be using systems and processes to achieve my goals, and not a ton of my time because I don't have a lot of time to go around. Goal number two is to take excess profits and buy rentals. And I'm going to show you a couple different takes on this because for goal number 2, I do want to buy rentals. I obviously could go do creative financing. I can go get a mortgage to buy these rentals. But I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I can go out and buy rentals, and one of them is actually at my full-time job where I can do this passively and I don't have to manage the properties. So I'll detail out how I get to goal number 2. And then goal number 3 for me is I want to use none of my own money. Now, why this one is strange is because, again, I make good money, but it is expensive to have a family. I don't want to use any of my own money to start and launch this business because I know there's a lot of you out there that are saying, hey, I have $0 in my bank account. How can I do this? How can I get started in real estate? How can I build a side hustle? I need 10, 15, 20 grand in order to make this happen. I'm going to set some specific targets. I want to leverage business that doesn't use a ton of my time. I want to take those excess profits and buy rentals. I don't want to pocket this cash and use it to fund my lifestyle or buy a new car. While those things would be nice, my focus on the side hustle is to build wealth. It is not to pad my income. And the third thing is I want to use none of my own money to get this going. Now, I already have some of these software tools that I have been paying for, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit in a sense there. But I also want to show you different ways that we can fund the business using none of our own money. As we go through this challenge, I may pick up some sponsors. Right now I have 0 sponsors, so I'm not getting any sponsorship money to run this. I'm not getting paid by YouTube or any platform to run this challenge. So I'm going to show you how to really do this with none of your own money. And sponsorships may be something that help me do that in the future. But again, those are the goals to help me reach my target. Now, I want to start on step 1. So step 1, if I wanted to boil this all down, is I need to map out what $50K a month in profit actually looks like. Now, most wholesaling businesses, depending on what the structure looks like, are going to be running at 60 to 40% profit margins. So I need to detail out at a 60% profit margin, which mine, because I don't plan on hiring a ton of people to do this because I don't have the time, my margins will probably be a little bit better, but I just want to be conservative to start. So 60% profit margins means if I break out my calculator here, and I want to get to $50K a month. Let's see, you probably can't see this calculator, so let me just switch this over. Share screen, and I want to just share the entire screen over here. There we go. Okay, so now I just want to share my screen. So 60% profit margins, I want to do $50K a month in net profits. So that's $50K times 0.6 equals, so I need to do, that would put us, so that means I need to be at what, $80,000 a month times 60% leaves me at 48,000. Actually, I probably should just use a calculator for this. I'm so bad. Let's do a net profit calculator. There we go. That's a much smarter move. So step 1 is use the right tools. So net profit, I want to make $50,000 a month. So what does that mean? And at my net profit margin, let's say it's going to be 60%. So yeah, I need to be at $83,000 a month. So I basically need to be at $1 million a month run rate, or $1 million a year run rate in order to take home $50,000 in net profits. And the reason why I want to do $50,000 a month is because specifically for a lot of the properties that I want to buy, I need about $50K to get into each one of these properties. So $50K a month allows me, if I do it right, to buy basically a house a month. If I do a house a month for a year, that's 12 rental properties, and that more than provides what I want in some passive income, but I can continue to build upon that going forward, and that will put me at 24 houses in 2 years, 36 houses in 3 years, 48 houses, and so on and so forth. Once I get to about 50 doors, I technically never need to work again. If I do everything right on those rental properties, the goal is to be able to build up a portfolio of about 50 rental properties to provide for my family for the long term. So if I am ever hurt, injured, or I die in the small likelihood that that happens, again, we never know what's going to happen, my family is provided for. I have a portfolio that builds for them. We're building equity at any time. If I need cash for emergencies or something for my kids, I can go to this portfolio that I'm going to have equity in, and I can pull out some of the equity of those properties and use that to fund whatever it is that's happening in my life. It just gives me the reassurance that no matter what's happening here in America or in the economy or around the world, that I have a portfolio that I can tap into for cash reserves to fund my lifestyle. We can live off of the cash flow, the appreciation that comes from it, the tax advantages that it gives us. Having 50 doors does a lot of good for you. So at 60% profit margins, I need to be at basically $83,000. We'll just round this up and we'll call it $84,000 a month in revenue. So that's my target. Target is $84,000 a month in revenue. Now, how many deals is that going to be? So $84,000 in revenue. I would say probably the average wholesale deal right now is going to be like 15 grand. So if we do It's going to be somewhere, I mean, it'll be like 8 to 15 grand. Let's just say the average, to make the math easy, $84,000 divided by $15,000 on the average assignment fee for a deal. That puts me at 5 deals a month. So I roughly need to be doing about 6 deals a month to hit my target. Now, at 6 deals a month, what I know right now, because I help some clients with inbound marketing specifically for their real estate businesses, is most channels, if you're doing inbound stuff, it's going to be pay-per-click, pay-per-lead, direct mail that's calling in. Most people are closing about 1 out of 12 deals. So if I'm doing 1 out of 12 and I need 6, that means I need 6 times 12. I need roughly about 72 leads per deal. Is that right? So 1 out of 12. So 12 leads to get 1 deal. I need 6 of those deals. So that means I need 72 leads per deal. 72, not per deal, 72 leads per month to hit 6 deals. Right? Divided by 12. Yep, that gives me 6 deals. So 72 leads per month to get 6 deals a month at 1 out of 12. I'm going to just adjust these numbers because this seems a little low for me. I'm going to say conservatively, let's do 1 out of 20. So 6 times 20. So I need roughly about 120 leads per month in order to get 6 deals. This is assuming that I assign every single deal that I get, which would be a feat in and itself. So let's say I have an average contract success ratio of 50%. I'm able to wholesale 50% of them. I actually need 12 deals a month if I'm actually only able to get rid of 6. So 12 times 20. So that means I need 240 leads a month, and that gives me 12 deals under contract and then 6 assigned deals. So 240 leads a month, 240 divided by 30. That means I need roughly 8 leads per day. Okay, so now I have my target. So 60% profit margins. We're going to put this at, I'm going to actually move this down 1. And I'll make this doc available for everyone so you can see, you can follow along. But step 1 is figure out the numbers. So the target is $84,000 in revenue. That's roughly 6 deals a month at $15K. 60% profit margins. This needs to be here. Equals $50K in net profit. So 6 deals assigned at $15K. 240 leads a month, 8 leads per day. So now this next step is, where do I get leads from? So you notice how I went directly into where do I get leads from instead of what software tools do I need, what strategies do I need. Ultimately, a wholesale business is all about sales and marketing. So I need to figure out where I'm going to get my lead flow from and what it's going to cost me to get that. So if I am going to focus on something that's leverage, which is my goal number 1, the most leveraged source is going to be inbound marketing. So this is going to be pay-per-click ads and pay-per-lead, and this will also be like direct mail. Because this is leads coming to me, not me having to do any outbound work. Now I know direct mail, the response rate is about 5%, actually less than 1%, so like 0.5%. So I'd probably have to drop 20 to 30,000 mail pieces a month to get enough lead flow consecutively for a few months. So if I go look somewhere like Yellow Letter HQ, I'm just going to put together a budget, what I need for marketing in order to send that much. I'd imagine it's probably, if I go look, there's a couple different places I can look. I'm in a few different Facebook groups that compile this info. So right now I'm just doing a little bit of research. I'm just going to see what it's going to take me budget-wise to make this happen. So I'm in results-driven REI coaching. This is just a group of high-level investors. And if I look at direct mail, I can see what people are saying or sharing about how many deals they're getting per drop. So direct mail and PPC are crushing right now. Mail has a 4.5x. PPC floats at 3 to 4. 24 direct mail deals this quarter. Direct mail is crushing it for us. One of 13 leads in mail is a deal right now. So there's 1 out of 13 in direct mail 6 to 9 month cash conversion cycle on average. It's a little long for me. So that means 6 months. What that basically means is if I spend money now, I'm not going to see that money back for 6 months from direct mail. So for me, that would probably eliminate direct mail for the most part, because I don't have 6 months to wait for cash to come back. So I'm just going to look through a couple of these threads and see how many pieces of mail I need to drop in order to get a return. So 12 leads to get a deal, 60 deals. So this is direct mail stats. So average profit is $23,000 a deal, 4.7% ROI, 0.3 response rate, 12 leads to get a deal. So in order for her to do 60 deals, 60 times 12, she had 720 leads to do 60 deals at $23,000 in profit, 0.3 response rate. So in order to get a response, I need to send a minimum of 300 pieces times 0.03. 0.03. So 369. So that means I need to send roughly 400 pieces of mail to get one response, I think is how that math works. 0.03? Yeah. So at a 0.3 response rate, I need roughly 380 or 390 pieces of mail to get one lead. And if it's 12 leads, so let's just call it 400 times 12. I need to send 4,800 pieces of mail to get 12 leads to lead to one deal. I think is the rough number. And this is assuming that it's just one drop. Probably have to do multiple drops, but let's say 4,800 pieces of mail is going to be our target. I like these handwritten cards. It's going to be first class here, and it's actually going to be the piece that I see is working the best is going to be this check postcard. So it actually sends them a check in the mail. I did a drop of this a while back to kind of see what the cost would be. But the easy offer system, how many pieces? I think let's call it 4,800 pieces. Let's see if it lets me add a cart. I just want to get a rough number. Let's do a Wednesday. Mail it all at once. Test. I gotta drag and drop a file here. Let's do CSV. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab a sample list here. I'm just trying to get a pricing idea so I can see how much this is gonna cost me, because they don't really have the prices on the site. But I'd imagine, so if it's, oh, okay, here they are. So 100 is the minimum. I need 4,800, so 55 cents a piece of mail. And then it looks like it's 3 more cents for the offer system to send the cash. And then I want like all of my undelivereds. So again, I'm just going into some detailed strategy here. So times, let's just do high level, times 55 cents. So it's going to cost me $2,600 to drop 4,800 pieces. I probably need to do this 3 times to try to get some calls. So $7,900 for direct mail. So that's going to be $7,900 for direct mail. And this should yield me, she said she's getting a 4.7% ROI calculator. So if I were to put these numbers in, if I spent $7,900 on direct mail, I don't want to do the math myself. Give me a different count. Here we go. So $7,900, my ROI is 4.5. So $7,900 to make $355 is how that math works out, if I'm not mistaken. So not a great ROI if I'm looking at what it's costing me. So that's probably going to eliminate direct mail for me. I can't imagine it's got to be 4% ROI. She's got to mean 475%. So $7,900 to make $4,500. That makes a lot more sense. This would be a 4x return on direct mail. This sounds better than a 4% return. I think this period's in the wrong place. So 475% return. That would be $45,000 in revenue, $3,700 or $37,000 in gains. But I'd have to drop this multiple times in order to get this. So this would be closer to, or actually I did that. It's 4,800 dropped 3 times. So this would be my cost for direct mail. So $7,900 for direct mail. Again, that seems a little high for me. Paper lead, I know right now in the markets that I'm going to be targeting is going to be about $200 a lead. Paper lead right now is usually 1 out of 8, 1 out of 12, but let's say conservatively it's 1 out of 15. So 15 times 200, that puts me at a cost of $3,000 per deal, $3,000 per deal. And then pay-per-click ads, I'm running some Google ads for a couple people right now. We're at like $80 a lead. So 80 times 12, that puts me at $960. So let's say my cost per lead is 80 to 120 per lead. So if I'm looking at an ROI sense, pay-per-click ads are probably going to get me the best results. So that's probably the channel that I'm going to go down. Because with pay-per-click ads, if I show you a couple of ad accounts that I'm working in, I can actually just pretty much set it, let it run, and then make some optimizations and tweaks to it while it's running. So I don't necessarily need to check it while I'm working, which is exactly what I need. I need to just be able to set up something to let it run. So like buying leads or running ads is probably going to be the best option for me. So if I look at this account right now, they're at $79 a lead. This is the client that I help run their PPC. So $79 a lead. They've already gotten a couple of deals from this. So $79 a lead is what they're averaging in a couple different markets. They're in Florida, California, and Georgia are their markets. So $960 a deal. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go pay-per-click ads. That's kind of a no-brainer for me. So pay-per-click ads, $960. I would say my budget is probably going to be somewhere around $3,000 a month. Actually, let's just do the math. So $960 a deal times 6 is what I need to spend each month. So I need to be spending roughly about $6,000 a month, $6,000 a month, and that nets me 6 deals. If I need to actually get 12 because I need to assign them, that's going to just double that. So I need to actually be at $12,000 a month because I'm not going to be able to assign every single deal I get. But let's say 50%. So $12,000 a month is the high level budget that I would need to hit this target. So $12,000 a month to make $1 million or basically $80,000 in revenue is a tremendous ROI. If we look at our ROI calculator, I'm spending $12,000 and I'm getting back, my returned amount is $83,000. That's a 5x return on ad spend. So that's fantastic. Even if I spent $20,000 to make that happen, that's a 3x return on ad spend. But more than likely, I mean, in order for me to return my numbers, so that's going to give me a net gain of $71,000 after the ad spend's taken out, and then I'll have other expenses and stuff that come out of that for the business. So this more than gets me to my target at this ROI. So I'm going to go pay-per-click ads. $12,000 a month is what I need for the budget to make this happen. So step 3 is going to be money for marketing. So where am I going to get this money for marketing? Where am I going to get this money from? So I got a couple different options. I can use my own cash, which I don't have $12,000 a month. So that's probably a no-go for me. I can go and leverage credit. If I am trying to build a real estate portfolio, where's that? If I'm trying to build a real estate portfolio, I don't know that I want to be using credit for this. Like I can just go leverage credit cards and do it that way. But again, I don't want to necessarily use $12,000 a month in credit. So another option that I could look into is either finding sponsors, or what my buddy Ryan teaches is partnering with agents or investors. Now, the reason I'm probably going to go the agents or investors channel is specifically on the agent side. If I were to partner with an agent, most agents are already spending money on marketing, and a good chunk of my marketing would be to off-market deals. But I'm going to have, if you know anything about wholesale real estate, you know that every single deal that I get is not going to be a wholesale deal. There's going to be a lot of deals that are just going to be listings. The numbers aren't going to work out. I'll have to use creative financing. It might be a novation. But a good chunk of those leads are just going to be leads that an agent can take and list. I'm not an agent, so I'm not going to go take those and list them. So partnering with an agent that's already spending money on marketing, they want more listings. Agents want more listings. And I want to cherry pick the investment deals that most agents typically aren't doing, because I would say for the most part, most agents probably aren't investors as well. I want to cherry pick just the best investment deals out of that lead flow. And I just want to hand over the listing leads to an agent, and we can partner on those as a marketing fee, or take a commission split, or however we want to structure that. But partnering with agents, I mean, they're already spending money on marketing, typically Zillow or paid ads or something like that, SEO. Most times they're not getting a super high yield from that. They're having to do all the work to work all the leads. They want more listings, and they're not really doing anything with the investment deals, because if they're in really beat up shape, there's no way that they're going to put that on the market. They're most likely going to pass that along to another investor. So it would be smart to just go out and reach out to agents that are spending money on marketing and say, hey, if you're spending $5,000 a month with Zillow, why don't you spend that $5,000 with me? I'll guarantee you listings. I only want the handful of investment deals, which is 5 to 10% of the lead flow. And I will actually do warm handoffs on the listing leads. So as the leads come in, I'll talk with them. I'll pitch them a cash offer. If it doesn't make sense, I'll do a warm handoff to the agent. And they're essentially getting listings that are lay down listings. They're guaranteed listings. They don't have to do a ton of work with them, and they can just take those and list them. So I basically just became their in-house sales team for $5,000 a month. And if we work out the numbers correctly, which I actually have a spreadsheet for this, it's going to be a net positive for them. So let me find that spreadsheet here. Agent, investor. So if we look at listings here, not this one, investor, agent. Let's look at this one. I think this is the one. Okay. So if we look at this breakdown for an agent, so let's say the average sales price is $465,000. Either this is I think this is in Arizona. Florida's probably similar, but even if we adjust this, let's say it's $465 is the average sales price. They're taking home a 3% commission. That's $13,000 per listing that they're going to get. Now, I have a couple of different tiers here for agents. I'm probably going to eliminate this $1,500 tier and just do $2,000 to $2,500, because I know my target is to get to $12,000 a month in marketing. I don't expect to get all of that from one agent. It's probably going to have to be a couple of agents that I sell in different counties where they have access to that county. But let's say this gold tier, I'm going to guarantee them 8 listings. They're going to pay me $24,000, so $2,000 a month for marketing that I'm going to put directly into PPC. And we'll do an 80-20 split. So what that's going to mean for them is $3 million in total sales volume at this sales price. Commission per deal, that's $13,000 in commission. Their gross commissions on $24,000 spent to me is $111,000. I'm going to actually credit them back for each one of their deals. So I'm going to give them money back for each listing that they end up turning. So if we look at the numbers, it actually ends up being like an 84-15 split. $17,000 in profit comes to me on our splits, so about 15% of the total commissions, and $94,000 for the agent. Even if I took $0 here, so let's say I didn't take a single dollar and I credited this all back to the agent, let's actually do that. I'm going to take this all out. Because I don't actually care to make any money on the listings. It would be nice, but if I made any money on it, it would be $94,000 for the agent. If they paid me a small split after giving them credit back for their marketing fees, they're still going to take home $94,000 on $24,000 in spend. So if we look at the ROI calculator, they spend $24,000 and their return is $94,000. That's a 2x return on their spend. So $24,000 to make $94,000 in commissions, plus I'm going to be crediting back this to them. They're basically making an unlimited, infinite ROI, because they're getting all of their marketing money back, because I'm actually going to credit it back to them on each one of their deals. So I'm actually pocketing nothing from this. So it's an infinite ROI after we credit back all of their marketing dollars. So my pitch to these agents is going to be, hey, I am looking for investment deals, and let's say I'm probably going to target Florida as my main market. So in Hillsborough County, Polk County, Lake County, Volusia, all those different counties around the Orlando area, from the east coast of Florida to the west coast of Florida, I'm just going to reach out to agents, the best agents in the area, and I'm going to say, hey, I am looking for an agent partner that I can pass over guaranteed listings to. Can you take on some more listings? Will probably be my message. And what I'll pitch to them is, hey, I need $2,500 a month in marketing. I'm going to guarantee you 8 listings. That's going to bring home about $111,000 in commissions for you. And I only want to keep the investment deals out of that marketing that comes. And if I need to take any of those to market, I need to list them. I'll list them directly with you if I decide to fix and flip those. So I think it's a pretty no-brainer pitch. I'm just going to go after agents. I can do the same thing with investors that are spending money on marketing, that don't want to do the sales and they just want first right of refusal on deals. I'd probably pitch the same amount of pricing, so $2,500, $5,000 a month. I'll bring you deals on a silver platter. You get first right of refusal on them, and you can save any money that you're spending in marketing. They'll still pay me an assignment fee, but they'll pay an additional marketing fee that I'll use for that. And they just get to cherry pick those deals at the best cost, and they won't have to kind of haggle on those. Most deals that flippers are buying, if they're buying from a wholesaler, they have to compete with other wholesalers and determine, hey, I can buy it at this price, and that wholesaler has their assignment fee, and then people are bidding that up, and they constantly have to change their offer to match what the bidding process is. If I worked with an investor, I would just bring them a deal, and they wouldn't have to haggle for it. My spread is $15,000 is my assignment fee. Here's the deal. Here's the numbers. You make $50K on this flip. Do you want it? Yes or no? And they get first right of refusal. If they don't, then I take it to the market. I do the same thing. And in order for them to get that access, it's $2,500 a month. And I bring you all the deals on the silver platter. I could still probably go partner with an agent in that same market, so I could double dip. I can do an investor in the same county and then do an agent, because with an agent, I still have these listing leads as well that I need to find someone to work, because I only want the handful of investment deals. So if I were to detail out my steps on what I got to do to get to $50K a month as a side hustle, so I found out my numbers. I figured out where I'm going to get my leads from. I figured out where I'm going to get my marketing from. Really, the last thing is going to be, so step number 4 is going to be, how am I going to manage the leads? How to manage leads while working. So initially, because I'm not putting any money into the business, I'm going to probably have to work these leads. So I need some type of CRM that has automations built into it. My buddy Ryan Fletcher has a tool called the ACS Machine that has probably about 1,000 different automations specifically for this use case. So as leads come in, there's text messages and everything that will go out. There's emails that will follow up with them for the first 5 days and 12 months of follow-up. I'm going to be utilizing his CRM. Again, I said it was a little bit in the beginning that I'm cheating because I have some of the software tools. I already have the software tool that I pay for, and I'm going to be using that to work my lead flow. Again, I'm only going to be working the leads in the morning and in the evenings, and then if I need to, sometime during my lunch break, because I'm still working full-time, 100% committed there. I'm not going to be spending any of my work time working leads or anything like that. So I'm going to have to bucket it and make sure that I work those, and I need to have a CRM in place that allows me to work those leads throughout the day and communicate with them and maximize my conversions while not taking any time away from work. So outside of my work hours, I'll work those leads, try to get them closed and locked down. So I'm going to be using the ACS Machine is how I'm going to manage those leads. It's built in a software tool called Airtable. It's basically drag and drop. You drop the tabs over, it fires off the automations, and it runs. And then eventually what I'm going to hire is a lead manager. I probably hire a lead manager from $5 to $7 an hour. And this will be once I have some revenue coming in. This lead manager will work the leads for me while I'm working. So they'll work 9 to 5. And they'll just set appointments for me either in the morning. So my morning hours will be, I'll pop up at 4 to 8 a.m. So before I start work, and then they can set appointments from 5 to 9 p.m. Again, a lot of these leads are going to be on the East Coast, so I'm most likely going to be working during this window, and then here is going to be comping, making offers, that type of stuff, sending out emails, working with title. But these are basically going to be my working hours, just 4 to 8 and then 5 to 9 after work. and I'll hire a lead manager that'll work the leads during the day, set appointments for me in those windows, or eventually I'll teach them how to actually run the numbers, do the comps, all that stuff, and then that way I just need to handle the pitch meetings or the follow-ups and getting deals closed. But that's going to be step number 2 once I have some revenue coming in. So if I were to detail out step 1 through 4, what I need to do to get to $50K a month, just to recap, I need to figure out my numbers. I need to figure out where I'm getting leads from, which is going to be PPC. How am I going to get money from marketing? How am I going to manage the leads? This is how it's all going to break down. Now, steps 5, 6, 7, 10, and on, I'll just detail these kind of in this this video stream here. This is like I'll pre-record them because again, I'm not going to stream during my working hours, but I'm going to create these kind of docu-series like this where I'm going to document my thought process, what I'm doing, some of the things that I'm executing in the business, and just post those on social, long-form versions on YouTube, so you can follow along. This is day 1, is really just a planning session to get my idea, my head around what I need to do to get to where I'm going. Tomorrow, what I'm going to actually be doing is reaching out to agents to get money for marketing. So I'll show you how I execute an agent's marketing campaign, or I'm going to schedule out some emails to go out to agents and see if they want to partner with an investor to get guaranteed listings. And then from there, I'll book appointments. I'll talk with the agents, and I'll try to get in some marketing money locked in. Again, I'm trying to get $12,000 a month in total marketing. So that means I'll probably have to work in a couple of different counties to get there. I may end up just doing the entire state of Florida because I'm specifically going to be wholesaling. So I'll find those top areas and just focus on finding agents in those top markets. And that'll help me get to my target. So that is day 1 in a wrap for you guys. If you have questions or you want to join along in the challenge, just comment down below. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell. This link will be posted in the video description here on YouTube. So you can take the link for the doc. You can see all my notes and everything here. Each day that I do this, I'll just create a brand new doc for it. So I'll just mark this as day 1. And that way you can follow along. All my notes, all my details, everything be here. So you can follow along the journey, or I can just keep a log of it too. I'm just going to throw them all in a folder and document them all. So thanks for joining along. I will see you on day number 2, where we start reaching out to agents to get money for marketing.